Mute our mics, please.
Here we go.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the SaRcast. I am your host, Steve Librand. Joining me as he does each and every week, Mr. Robert Rennie.
What's up?
And special guest in studio, one of our favorites, Mr. Mike Hanratty.
What's going on?
And then behind the glass engineering, we got Kiki tonight. Kivon's on the glass.
Hey.
So we've been away for a little while. I think
Yes,
the last
sir.
show that we did was 3 weeks ago. That was a rager. If you were here for that, I wound up like doing like 4 hours straight of podcasting, and I just got more lit as the minutes go. So you can hear Sober Steve all the way through the SaRcast, but if you want to hear shit get crazy, go listen to the April 1st episode of Santa Boot First. Rob actually bailed in the middle of the episode.
I heard. I listened. I was tuned in. I'm always tuned in.
It was rough.
I bounced at I did like 3 hours.
It was rough, dude.
We drank a lot that night.
Yeah.
It got crazy.
We definitely got pretty lit up, but then we missed the last 2 weeks. Rob had some stuff going on. It's your story to tell. He had COVID of the penis.
So
Of the penis.
Of the penis.
So Saturday morning, the 10th, the wife wakes up, congested, everything else, whatever. She's like, I'm going to go get tested. She goes and gets tested. She's positive. My oldest son, goes and gets tested. He's positive. His girlfriend goes and gets tested. She's positive. So at that time, it's me, my younger son, and the twins are like just locked downstairs in our house. Everyone else is locked in the bedrooms, dude.
Like it's like lockdown, and there's like tape on the floor. Like these are the zones you're allowed in, and these are the zones.
It's literally
you're not.
so like I have 2.5 bathrooms in my house.
They're talking to each other through the heating vents. Bring soup.
No.
I need soup.
No, dude, we're like we're
Yeah.
FaceTiming the whole
They
time.
got the cups with the strings.
Like for dinner on the first Saturday, we literally took a tripod and we put everyone on FaceTime, and we're sitting there eating dinner. They're upstairs. Like I dropped off food at their doors.
Like after dinner's over, you ask the kids, "All right, everybody log off." So it's just me and Liz. I got some stuff I want to talk to you about.
No, we don't do that.
You should have thrown a little Luther. Zoom it up.
Not at that very.
Is Liz still locked in a room?
No, we're all out.
So the twins, one of the twins got it, but not both.
Correct. So Bree got it, and Ava did not. And then,
So it's so weird because like all of you guys obviously interacted. The girls are super close. Like the fact that only one of them got it. The fact that Liz got it, but you didn't. Like it's weird to me. Like when you hear it, I've heard it so many times where people are like, you know, my spouse got it or whatever, and I didn't. And it's like, how is that even possible?
Right.
Like I can't imagine. Like this is the most,
because everyone else tells you that it's the most like contagious thing ever.
absolutely.
And it's literally like
it's more contagious
I didn't
than AIDS in the 80s.
like. So Liz like walked around the house like the last few days wearing a mask, but like listen, Bree tested positive. Bree is literally jumping in my face like, "Daddy, daddy, daddy!" I'm like get out of my face.
Chill out. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like she's literally in my face, breathing on me.
As you chuck her across the room, do you realize how infected you are? You need to put that kid in a bubble, right?
So basically, but then when Bree tested positive as well the next day on Sunday, well, wait. So Saturday night, I slept on an air mattress in the girls' room.
Right.
They really enjoyed that. Like they thought it was the greatest thing ever.
It was a sleepover for you, not so much though, right?
No, dude. Like in the morning, the mattress was like going
Half
flat
deflated,
already.
yeah.
So if I rolled over, like I was gonna roll out and shit.
It
Like,
reminds me when I first got divorced.
Yeah.
I had an air mattress that I was laying on, and listen, it was rough some nights. You wake up and the cat pop out, and you're just laying flat on the floor, like
oh man,
just wondering where your life went wrong. But it's not the same situation, Rob. It's close. Go ahead.
so anyway,
Staring
Wake
at the
up.
ceiling,
like that night, Bree
wiping sleepies and tears out of your eyes.
Bree
I'm sorry.
hops.
I just brought me back to a moment, Rob. Go ahead.
Oh shit. Bree hops into bed and I'm like, oh my god, she's burning up. So I'm like, oh shit. So
She
I
hopped into
just-
bed with you?
Yeah, in the air mattress. Yeah.
Or
She,
were you just like, were you ready to coyote ugly your own kid? Like, you infected bitch, stop touching me.
well, so at this time we didn't know yet that she was
I
positive.
fucking dare you to cough in my face. I swear to God.
But so then the next day I take her, and when I take her, we went to the Horsham place and I got tested, Shane
Right.
got tested, Bree and Ava both all got tested.
Was this the first time that you've been tested?
Yeah.
So I've been tested twice now, and the first time was the absolute worst.
Right.
And I feel like technology's gotten better, or like the people aren't as aggressively pissed off that they've got a line out the back door of people waiting to get it. Because the first time, like she literally jammed it all the way up there. Like I was bleeding for like.
Did you
2
go to the
weeks.
Liberty place?
I'm not even yes.
Liberty
yes.
in Horsham, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
She was all the way up there. Like I felt it in my throat. Like I shouldn't have felt anything ever in my throat.
I
It was
didn't feel
awful.
nothing. It literally was like a little rub inside, like up in, like not here, but like up here, but not jammed up there.
So I told the story of the show when I got it done. I was watching everybody in line, and I was like 15th in line, and it was like, I don't know, like 35 degrees. I was so cold. So like I had my mask on, my face is red from the wind and being cold. And then when I got up there, I'm like, I'm watching everybody else do it. Just pop up one side, pop up the other. And people are just walking away like it's nothing. I'm like, God, this ain't shit. She goes up there. Like I literally walked to my car like I was just assaulted. Like I was ready to call SVU. My eyes are watering. My nose is leaking. Like I've got boogers everywhere. I'm like trying to catch my breath. Like I'm upset. Like I was so embarrassed. And like I'm walking through the crowd back to my car, like my head down. Like I wanted to go home and get a shower. It was awful.
felt violated.
The second time I went and got it though wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
They don't go up as far.
Yeah. My
My kid just tried out for the junior high baseball team, and one of the kids at the tryouts, he had COVID, so all of the kids had to quarantine. They weren't allowed to go back to school, and they had me bring him to the school on Tuesday. And I mean, it's impossible to explain it unless you can see it. They've got this huge bus loop in the front, like where they can fit like 60 buses. It's fucking huge.
Mhm.
So the lady tells me, bring the kid 10:30. Meet me at bus door 18. She forgot that they were doing PSSA, so the entire thing is filled with buses. So I think I'm still supposed to go there. So as I cruise through, there's nothing worse than getting screamed at by 20 bus drivers going, "You can't park here." I'm like, but she told me to go here. I don't know where else I'm supposed to go. I'm getting yelled at. I've got one taking pictures of me. It's just a bunch of Karens and orange buses. It's awful. So finally, like I pull over and the lady's like, "You can't park here." Like, I know, I just don't know where I'm supposed to go. So I had to take him to get a test from the school so he could go back. So I called the nurse and I'm like, listen, there's an angry mob of bus drivers out here ready to fuck me up. You need to tell me where to go. And she's like, oh my God, I forgot. Like as I'm pulling away, they're like, yeah, like there's like an angry crowd with like fucking spears and rakes and shit. Like they're going to fucking burn my car down. Like the worst. So then she hands him the stick and tells him to do it himself.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, you do realize he's 12.
Mhm.
Like he's got the mentality of an 8-year-old. Like
Well-
he's not sticking it up that far. I promise you. Give
So-
him a jelly bean. He'll shove it all the way up there. The stick? No way.
No way.
So we went and got tested, all four of us that day on Sunday. And then like they do like a video conference to tell you the results, right? So we had 4 tests done. The guy calls and he's like, yeah, you know, what's going on, all this. And I'm like, yeah, this person, that person, whatever. And he's like, all right, well, Ava tests positive. And I was like, you're out your mind. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, I'm looking at this girl. She won't sit the frick still. She's been running around all day, nothing. I was like, her sister's the one who's sick. I was like, the nurse had to have like confused the swabs because
It's assisted. It's
the
not
nurse like went
assisted.
like this with the swabs. Like she literally took mine, put it here, like and held it. Then took my other sons and held it, and then took the twins and held them, and like all in her hand. So I'm like, she just confused them, whatever, you know. So but at that time I was like, all right, so what are we supposed to do? And he's like, all right, well, you all can like don't have to be on lockdown in your house. He's like, just come out and just be careful or whatever, but just stay in the house for like 10 days. So then we were in the house for 10 days.
I haven't gotten tested at all, but I think I got COVID.
Like last year in January?
No, like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So what I thought was just like a head cold. I was pretty sick for a little bit, but it wasn't anything like extreme.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like little body aches. My body aches every day. I'm in the gym 6 days a week. You know what I mean? I'm like, nothing new. But it was like I was tired. Just had like a head cold, like congestion. Didn't think anything of it. And then it started getting a little worse. The one day it was like real bad, like pains in my side. I'm like, maybe I just got like bad gas pains or something. Fucked me up for a couple of days, but I just like fought through it. Yeah. Just taking all kinds of like allergy medicine and zinc and immunity pills. And
yeah, that's how Nate was like when he first got it. Like he like threw up or whatever, and then like just was like, I don't know. We were like, you probably got a stomach bug, dude. Like,
I was completely fine. Like it was like, besides just like a head cold, and it lasted about, I'm gonna say about 10 days. But I felt like completely fine. I didn't skip a beat in my like daily, besides being like a little tired and like whatever. And I still like went on thinking, I didn't have COVID. I just had like the seasonal cold. And it's my son's birthday. Someone asked me to smell something, and I'm like, I can't. Like to this day, I can't smell almost anything.
Really?
There's only a couple little things that jog like my sense, but it hasn't affected my taste buds. Just really fucking weird.
Liz lost her smell, and then like the next morning, like couldn't taste anything either. But then like came back like real shortly later, and then it was like
I can taste things, but my smell is completely off. It's weird as fuck.
Well, my smell, like just in general, is different than everyone else's. Like literally,
real quick. Joe Blaze said, "Man up, bitch." I'm assuming that's towards you, Rob. Our buddy Brandon Cormier said, "What's up, some bitches?" And Joe said, "Joe wants to know why you look bloated."
It's the fucking camera.
It is the camera.
I didn't want to sit on this side. Don't you see me trying to hide my fucking side titty and shit? Leave me alone.
That's all bulk, man.
No, it's not here. That's side titty. Why do you think I keep putting my arm down and shit, and trying to flex my little arms?
One of my favorite things is side titty.
You got some nice side titties.
I do. I got good front titties too. I'm almost at the point where I can collect a $1 bill if I want to.
Oh shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I lean in tight enough, I'm getting that $1 bill.
Well, I heard they're having open tryouts at Double Vision, so if you want to go there.
Luckily for you, my goal by the end of this year is to start a plus size male strip club, because I heard there's some women out there that just want natural men arousal. That word.
Listen, you see this belly? I'll put it on you. I don't care.
Give her the backbreaker.
Yeah.
Bend her over and just drop your belly on her back.
Yes.
I used to do that shit all the time when I brought something strange home.
I saw some chick today, a big girl. She literally had her boobs resting on the table. Like I was getting my breakfast. I was at the diner and I stop and I do pickup. So as I walk in, like I look over and like she literally just had them rested on the thing. And I'm like, that's probably relaxing as shit. Like I can't imagine carrying around all that extra weight and then just being able to go, I'm just going to sit these right here for now.
Oh man, it made doggy style so much better when you could just rest it on her back. I had to hope she had a strong core.
Yeah, this is on you now. This is for you to carry.
Oh. That's just foul.
So everybody's good though?
Yeah, we're all back. We're all good.
It's amazing too with like COVID and just the situation that we're in the world. Like I was last Thursday, we probably could have came in. It was going to be you and me, Mike, that were going to come in and do the show. And then like leading up to the show, like I started to get a headache and like my throat was sore and I'm like, fuck, man. Like I'm starting to retrace my steps. When was I around Rob? Was I around anybody in the family? Who do I know that's got it? And then I start thinking about like, because I coach kids sports. So like I'm patient zero then at that point. Like my kids got definitely. It that I gave the whole team in, you know what I mean? And like I woke up the next day and I felt fine. But like, and now like even the slightest thing, it's, oh shit, I got COVID. Oh shit, I got COVID.
The only time I actually felt like I had it, I tinted my buddy's car, and like I did that on like I want to say like a Friday night, and then like Monday, he texted me and he was like, "Hey, I just wanted to give you a heads up. I tested positive for COVID." This was like a few months ago. This was before I got sick or anything. And I'm like, all right, like, well, thanks for the heads up. I mean, I was already all up inside your car, like, but by the time I left work, when he texted me and I met my wife at Walmart, she pulled up next to me. I got out the car. I'm like, can't fucking breathe. My throat's getting tight. Yeah. I'm sweating. I'm like, babe, I don't know. I think I might. I was in his car. I think I might have COVID. She's like, are you fucking saying, like, were you fine all day? I'm like, yeah. I just got off the phone with him. She's like, you're fucking really. So,
Can you catch it through the phone? Because he was breathing heavy. And I don't know.
I'm a strong believer in like mental illness. Like you can convince your body to become sick. You can convince your body to do things differently. I mean, like I'm a strong believer that
there's people that believe that believe the exact opposite. Like the power of like thought or the power of prayer, like positive thoughts can change. Like if you're sick, it can make you healthy. And like people get like hardcore into that shit. Like there have been people who unexplained, had cancer and they fucking prayed on it, or they positive thoughts. I don't have it anymore. I'm gonna beat it. And then they do. Like,
I mean, you hear so many stories about people that like. What was the one I heard
recently?
I heard it a few months ago. There was a guy in jail.
Okay.
All he did was work out. He was healthy, no issues whatsoever. Has to get an AIDS test. Finds it. He's told he's got AIDS. Right. So he goes on.
That's fucked up that he felt healthy, because usually you don't get AIDS straight up. You get HIV, then AIDS.
Well, he tested positive for AIDS, right? But
he
was
went
like
straight
a healthy
guy.
In jail. He was a healthy guy, like nothing wrong. Like
who's fucking people in jail?
Probably. I mean, if you're doing a 20-year bid, you're probably at that time it's just natural. Yeah. But anyway, he gets told that
chapstick.
He gets told
so
that
valuable in prison,
that he has AIDS, and within 3 months, like he was on his deathbed, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Like once he was told that he had it, everything just started depleting.
He just stopped
doing
the
give up.
He was like 0% body fat, like muscle head, like you know what I mean, healthy as could be, and he just started like dying. Come to find out, the test results got mixed up, and he was perfectly healthy.
And he fucking almost killed himself.
And he almost killed himself because in his mind, he believed he was about to die.
He was at the give up stage.
Yeah. It's fucked up.
That's crazy, dude. Like there's like, I'm the exact opposite. Like if I see something on TV, like I'm Googling symptoms. Like if anybody who's listened to our shows listened before, like I'm the classic case study hypochondriac. It's genetic. I get it from my mom. And if she's listening, it's fucking true.
You know what I get from your mom?
Head? Probably. But like I'm totally one of those people where like if I hear symptoms of a drug, like side effects of a drug, I automatically think I've got whatever the side effects are. I'm that bad.
You were taking something and actually discovered that it was like from the commercial, though, that it was a side effect.
I was taking some shit for my diabetes. I was getting Ozempic, and I was taking the shot, and like I didn't even realize it. I'm like 8 weeks into it, and I'm feeling great. Like my numbers are good. Everything's going good. It's for my diabetes. I have to take once a week shot insulin, and I was doing awesome. Like I lost a couple pounds, like everything was good. And then I started to feel like my neck was like, I would get sore, like where my glands were. And like, I didn't think anything of it. And like, it was from like week 2 on, and I kept telling my wife, I'm like, I don't know, like it feels like my glands are swollen. Like maybe I'm getting like a cold or something like that. And then I saw the commercial for it, and I'm like, oh, I'm on that. And I never paid attention to it. And at the end, it goes like, may cause like swelling of like the throat. And I went, and if it does, discontinue use immediately. I'm like, fuck, I've been using it for like 8 weeks. I'm dying. I'm dead right now. So I called my doctor like the next morning, and I'm like, yo, you never told me this. And he goes, I did, but it's rare. It's not something that'll come up. And then this circles back to my mom. So it only affects you if you have like a rare type of like thyroid cancer. And my mom had thyroid cancer, but she didn't have the rare kind. She had the one that's very, very normal that lots of people get. And they just remove the thyroid and you're good. So like I thought it was like the rare kind. And he's like, yeah, no, you can't take that. That could trick your body into this. And then you wind up having thyroid cancer yourself. So now I think I'm dying. And my wife hates me at this point, because like literally over the last 4 years, I've been dying of pancreatic cancer, thyroid cancer. I've had something wrong with my liver. My kidneys are fucked up. I almost cut my thumb off. Like, she's a fucking saint for what she's got to put up with. But yeah, so I go in there and I asked her mom, I'm like, what kind did you have? Was it medullary or was it the other kind? And she goes, I'm pretty sure it was medullary. And I'm like, you fucked up everything. Like, I could have stayed on the medication. It was just a fluke thing. But that's where the hypochondria comes from. But I'm the worst with it. So one of the things that we wanted to talk about last week when we were on the show was we were going to talk about celebrity deaths. Like, we got hit with like a wave, like really, really fast with a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just cycling back. We were the last episode we did was the first, and I had planned this whole like thing. We were going to talk about DMX. So for guys that are our age, like DMX, Eminem, like right in that like 99 to 2001 range, like a lot of like artists came out of nowhere and like fucking like really put like set the precedence for us. And like that's why we laugh at the shit that's played today. Like, people probably look at DMX and like the generation behind us, like, that guy's a clown. But like to us, like that aggressive fucking raspy style.
He was rap in our era. My favorite rapper, definitely in my top 3.
Yeah.
I mean, grew up on X, you know what I mean? I mean, especially, all of his music was like, I'm gonna say a majority of his music was hype music. And I mean, even if it wasn't, like, just the voice and the passion and the aggression that he put into his songs, like even the sad songs you could get amped up to. You know what I mean? So before sports or whatever, you were always listening to DMX to get you hype. You know what I mean? It was like DMX and Busta Rhymes were like the songs to get you like hype back in the day.
They sound exactly the same too.
No, DMX
not
is like
their style, but they both have that raspy aggressive.
They have unique voices. Yes, yeah. But yeah, DMX. He's somebody. Like I said before, like he didn't hide who he was. He was easy to relate to. And so like to so many people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, he didn't hide his drug addiction. He didn't hide his struggles. He didn't, he was a fucked up individual. He didn't just make good music, like his personality, period. Like he made you comfortable to accept like your issues. You know what I mean? Like, he was prideful about it, and his energy on stage, and it was just it was great.
Like the video of, what was it, Woodstock 99 or whatever? Like 200,000 people or whatever, dude. Like, and he's up there, is just going fucking bonkers.
Yeah, it's when he climbed up. I think that was the one where he climbed up on the speaker.
Yeah,
he fucking. That was him at every show. Like,
there's something about that era too, like where, like, it's not the same thing, but I'll equate it to comedy. Like, there's a certain segment of comedians where they're really good at self-deprecation, where they can make fun of themselves, and be able to talk about those things. Like, Robin Williams was famous for being able to talk about his problems and his addictions and shit, and how he was able to overcome them. Richard Pryor's the same way. But guys like DMX and like and Eminem, like they can rap about things that happen in their life or things that are going on, and it's relatable, but it's also fresh, and it's like you're in a weird way sitting back and enjoying listening to them open their wounds. You know what I mean? And like they were good at making fun of themselves and okay with that, but they were also, talented enough to make that entertaining to a way, like where it's relatable, but also, you could drive down the highway with your windows down in that blast, and it's still cool.
Yeah, they they weren't afraid to like shed light on their issues, and the way that they presented it was, like you said, it was entertaining. You know what I mean, and relatable.
Yeah.
When you find the ability to do something like that, and you can see that it's like true, like, when somebody's doing it just for entertainment or just for, recognition, like, it's not pure, and it's almost like, all right, it's just another one. You know what I mean? But when someone like a DMX or like an Eminem, you know what I mean? Like, when they put all their issues out there, and you could tell, like, they were able to do it in such a creative way that it sound good, and it got your attention, but you could tell like they were talking some shit that they fucking went through. Yeah. Which that's what made it more relatable. That's what made it like heartfelt. I
think it comes on the tail end too of like I'm not the biggest hip hop guy or rap guy, like, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like we went from like the East Coast, West Coast beefs And that shit that just encapsulated that early 90s rap, like that gangster kind of style rap, to where it just was like 3 or 4 years of just a bunch of dudes up there just bragging about all the shit that they have, when everybody knows they just rented it for the video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you went through that segment where it's like, you know, this guy's got $1 million chain on his neck and he's got 6 Bentleys and there's a helicopter flying above him. And it's like, bro, you don't have all that stuff, but it's still cool. So I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with seeing you on your yacht with 6 whores. I'm okay with that. That's good. And then they came along and it's like the complete opposite like of that. And now we're back into that same kind of mode now with what you've got all these dudes out there, the mumble rappers and shit, where they all brag about what they have and their grills and all that
like
shit. It's just like
6ix9ine.
It's just unrelatable. Like they're more weird than anything.
Yeah, I mean, you went through that era. I mean, early hip hop was, you know, it was rhyme schemes. It was talking about your neighborhoods and your friends and you know, things that you liked and you know, and then you went through that mid to late 90s where it was like gangster rap. You know what I mean? And it was that street life mentality. It was about selling drugs, struggling, you know, going through situations, fucking heartbreaks and you know, just all kinds of struggles, jail, this, that, and the third. Then you got into like that party scene, which was like still a little gangster, still a little show off, you know, and that was like your early 2000s and all that. And then, you know, now,
you get into that fucking crunk. What was that shit, that southern like is it crunk? Is that what it is?
Crunk, and then there was chopped and screwed too, the down
What is
south
that?
shit. That was like
What
the
is
Texas
cough-
style, like
cough medicine and shit. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
the lean.
No.
Yeah.
But then you transition to like this era of rap.
Syrup shit. No.
I thought you were talking about what they like tried to drink.
No. It's like
Lean.
a specific
Lean.
kind. It's a kind of like lean is
Lean is
it's a
codeine.
cough syrup and
codeine,
and
that's
Sprite.
what I was talking about.
I watched
what
the
they
guy at the
called it.
bar
What
one
else
night.
did they call
Yeah,
it?
that's big in
Fucking,
Texas. Yeah, that's
scissor.
a big thing.
yeah,
Syrup.
syrup.
I watched some guy at a bar one night break open a codeine bottle and just lick the inside of the bottle because it was empty. I'm just like,
Yeah.
pretty rough.
Why?
Huh? Because you want to get fucked up. That's why
Yeah.
people do that.
Mm-hmm. And then, like I say, you go back to like this era of
But
music.
they're the
they don't
fucking
even-
people who don't cause you when you go buy allergy medicine at the
100%.
friggin' store. You have to
Oh,
show
yeah.
ID.
Yup.
That's the reason.
Yep.
Speakers and the meth heads.
Mhm.
And then we all Black Rob too. So I'm not
Black Rob.
I'm not incredibly familiar with Black Rob. I know that he was
He was
early
with
like
Puff Daddy.
Yeah, he wasn't.
was
He
with,
made beats. He made a lot of beats.
was he more producer than he was?
No,
Like beats and shit, right?
no. Black Rob was. He was.
Wasn't he part of a crew?
No, he was with Bad Boy.
Yeah, bad boy. Fat Puffy and them.
I mean, he's.
What's,
he
what
wasn't
song?
as
He made like
mainstream.
2 albums. He only made 2 albums, I think.
See the
Whoa.
dude that was like
Whoa.
whoa,
Like whoa,
like whoa,
like
Yeah.
whoa, like whoa is the song that you would know him for, that most people know.
and that's it, right?
Yeah, he
And
wasn't.
he got
as
mentioned a
much
couple
as-
times in like Biggie songs.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't as
Yeah.
mainstream as some of the other artists, but it's.
I think Biggie said
He
Black
wrote
Rob,
out though with
Junior Mafia.
no, he was with Puff Daddy and the family. Like he was part of that
Yeah,
whole.
So he
thing.
was he was the family?
Yeah, he was in the family. Yeah.
I mean, he was a legend in the culture, but you know what I mean, like mainstream music wise,
Wouldn't
he
know
wasn't
him.
that. Yeah, I mean that's just similar.
Unless you're like a huge fan of like the Puff
right,
Daddy
yeah.
stuff, like then you know who
I mean,
it is.
So what you're
you know.
saying is he never made an appearance on TRL with Carson Daly.
He might have like what was that was a jam back in the day.
It was a banger.
Oh yeah, it was definitely.
Can I
a
say banger?
You can say
As a
banger.
42-year-old white dude,
Yeah, sure.
I can say banger.
You can say banger.
The way that you just looked at me said, nah, because I'm going to make fun of you about it later.
Well, I'm
I'll
gonna
say,
do that
I say
anyway.
stuff.
But I mean, like Black Robbie was like more of like like a if you were in the culture and all that. I mean, just like Big L. A lot of people don't know who Big L is. Big L is one of the greatest rappers of all time, but he died young and like younger in the game. I think he died when he was working on a second album. But you can hear every credible rapper refers to Big L. Big L is responsible for people like Fat Joe and Mace and
I like Fat Joe. I like
Cameron. You know what I mean? Like
I know Cameron, but I only know him from like, for some reason, I have a picture of him in like camouflage on an album cover.
that. You definitely.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't even know why I do that, but like I just pulled that out of my ass.
Most people would know him for like all the pink. Like he used to.
I
Wear,
got
like,
nothing.
Pink,
All I
pink
know is
furs
like
and drive,
camouflage.
pink Bentleys and shit.
I don't even know why I knew that camouflage on the album cover. Like I totally didn't make that up
There's
for some
definitely,
reason.
yeah.
That I feel
Yeah.
like I was driving somebody's car and found the CD. I'm like, who the fuck is Cameron? And why is he wearing all this camouflage?
Yeah, but if you talk to anybody, in hip hop, rap fan, anything, they'll definitely put like Big L in their top 5 greatest of all time.
Word?
Yeah.
Other celebrity deaths. So Black Rob, DMX, Prince Philip, which it's weird to me to call him Prince Philip only because he was like 93 when he died and he's married to the Queen.
No, he was 99.
Is he 99?
Yeah. He was 99 because everyone was ripping on him and they were like, couldn't make it to 100.
So my thing with that is I can't get over the fact that, like, where's this dude's balls at?
What you mean?
So why are you running around Prince Philip? You're married to the Queen. Shouldn't you be King fucking Philip at that point?
I would assume so.
Right?
I mean, I don't know much about kings,
I don't know how the royalty all works.
Right,
it's weird, right? But this motherfucker was Prince Philip for, I don't know, 60 years. Like,
how are you a prince?
Yeah, he was married to her for 73 years or some shit.
Right. Like, at some point, he's got to. So that's the thing. Like, he had to at some point step up.
That's how that family goes.
He had to at some point step up and go, hey, listen, do you think we could maybe? And she was like, no. And he was like, you're right. You're right.
They told him, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That's like equivalent.
But
to
actually,
that's like equivalent, like in your household. Like
he's a kept man.
Like your son is the prince, and then when he bounces and goes marry somebody else, he's now the king of his own fucking household. This guy just seems like he was.
Well, she's obviously the one that has
in the fucking closet.
So I don't know if there's a term for it, but like there's like a royal lineage, and like she's the one that has the royal lineage. He's a royal in some way, like kind of the way that like Princess Diana was Princess of Wales, like the Duchess of Wales or whatever. Like, I think she's a princess or she's got a royal bloodline or a high bloodline. Like, you're only allowed to marry royalty, I assume. I don't really know the rules on this, but like, I'm not sure why. Like, I know that the Queen Elizabeth, is the one that has the royal blood. She marries this dude. Like, at some point, like, he's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to be king. And she's like, let's pump the brakes on that. All right. You're going to be marrying me. I'm going to be the queen, but you're going to be the prince, which is weird because, like, the prince would be the queen's son. Right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, he should have been King Philip a long fucking time ago. And, like, my man's just like, cool. Like, I'll take the little crown. I don't care. Right?
Yeah. You think she was fucking him with a strap on or something?
Yes. He was definitely pegging this dude. And he was like, thank you. Can I have another? Because like, for him, like, he never has to worry about anything ever again. Like, if she dies, I'll be king. Like, right?
Well, I don't know at this point.
It probably does pass. Like, I know the son's bitter as shit because he's in like his 70s, I think. He's like late 60s, maybe early 70s. And like that motherfucker hasn't had a chance to be king because his mom won't fucking die. Like, he has to look at her every day with a pillow, like in his hands, just gripped hard as shit. Like, one of these days. And like, she's just like, I'm not fucking dying yet. I got stuff to do.
Here's basically why he's not king.
Because he likes to be called princess behind closed doors.
The wives of British monarchs tend to receive the ceremonial title of queen, or more specifically, queen consort.
Did you just say Pacifically?
He definitely said Pacifically.
Specifically. Like for example, the Elizabeth's mother, also Elizabeth, became queen consort when her husband George became king.
So, but George was king, right?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I don't fucking know. Duchess Kate will likely become Queen Catherine when William ascends to the throne.
Correct. But that's probably never going to happen.
Camilla could become Queen Consort, though for now, Clarence House has announced it is intended that Mrs. Parker Bowles should use the title HRH, the Princess Consort, when the Prince of Wales accedes to the throne.
All right, so I'll clean that up for you real quick. What it's saying is, since she's not really the queen, and that's his second wife, she doesn't get to say that she's the queen. Like Diana would have been the queen. Charles will ascend to king once Queen Elizabeth.
You have to be full family. Like, but no, Elizabeth, the queen now, was in the family.
Yeah, I got
That's why she got to queen.
I got that.
He married her.
But
he doesn't make him king.
When Kate Middleton becomes queen, when Prince fucking what's the kid's name? The bald head.
William.
When Prince William becomes king, Kate will become a queen.
Correct, but not the queen.
No, she's still a queen. This guy is a prince.
Queen,
he should be the king.
Like the queen is now.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
But like Prince Philip should be the king.
She decided never to name him the king.
Correct, because she kept his balls. That's the royal treasure. His nutsack. Like, I would have been like, fuck this. I'm the king. What are you going to do? Divorce me?
It was in 1957. He was named the prince.
Yeah, my man's been putting up with that for 70 years. And she probably belittles him in front of his
Queen
friends.
has been
She does. He's like, can I go out and play cricket with the boys?
Let me
and
ask
she's
you a
like,
question.
no.
Here's something I found weird as shit about that when they showed the funeral and stuff. She sat by herself.
What do you
That's so weird to me.
What do you mean?
During like the whole ceremony and everything, when he was like for the funeral,
Yeah.
the queen literally sat alone. No one else sat with her. It was
Gotcha.
just her. I thought, to me, that was one of the weirdest looking things.
So Joan says he did not want to be king. It was royal in Germany. No, he would not be king. Camilla is not blood. She would be a consort. First off, I don't know why you know so much about this, Joan, and you never explained anything.
I don't know why we are so fucking into this conversation.
So I'm into it because I want to know how you go 70 years being married to the queen and you're not the king.
You're not a
That's
king, at
literally
least,
the
right,
only
yeah.
fucking benefit to being married to her. Like, she's obviously going to make the rules, and at some point she's going to fucking abdicate all royalty as far as we're going to be managed by the parliament now, and we're just royals in title. Like, we fucking have a shit ton of money and people look at us in a different way, but like, we have no power whatsoever. Like, there's no other point for him to be fucking king. Like, I would marry you if you're not going to let me be king. Right? Could you imagine if it was the Lion Prince? Fuck that. Simba's not taking that. He's the Lion King. Like, there's never mind. Clearly, we're not. Whatever. We're in a different place, apparently.
Yeah, save that shit
As
for
people.
over there.
I think part of that, she decided what to name him, and because I think like he wasn't actually
He was a
from there and everything else, like she just said you're never going to be the king.
Gotcha. All right, other deaths.
They
Bernie
still
Madoff.
said he was the Royal Highness, though.
Right, he was. Bernie Madoff. He bilked people out of like $550 million. I don't even know anybody. Huh?
He's a legend.
He is a fucking legend. You know what the biggest thing that he did?
You think he should have been in jail though for everything he did?
Yes. He fucking stole. So like the way that they portray it, like he wasn't a scumbag about it. Like he intended on trying to give everybody their money back, but like he just got in over his head. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse.
I mean, I don't know all details about everything, but I mean, what I do know, I don't know, like his story kind of says like, yeah, it was a Ponzi scheme and all that, but his intentions, what he would do, like if you wanted to pull your money out, he would just get somebody else to invest, take their money, pay you with that, and keep going.
So the biggest thing that
that's what a bank does anyway.
I'm sure that there are other big ones, but the biggest one that I know of was he convinced the owners of the Mets to fucking invest all of their money, and they wound up having to sell the team. Like that's how bad it was. Like they got built.
Okay.
You a Peaky Blinders guy?
No, I tried.
I know you're not. All right, so I'm a huge Peaky Blinders guy. Like I watched every episode. It's a fucking fantastic show.
Yeah, I tried years ago, and
the accents get people.
Yes, I'm not a big accent. Like if there's an accent in a movie, I'll turn it off. It could be the best movie in the world. I just can't do it.
Yeah. So you never seen like Snatch or anything like that?
Oof. Like if I'm like 10 minutes in and I can't fight through the accents, I'm gone. Save that British shit for over there.
I got you.
There was a show on damn, I can't remember the movie, but the second season's coming out. No, it was on Netflix, I think. But it was originally filmed in French, and they transferred it to like
translated it
I
to
can't
English.
watch them either.
So
at all.
Anything you have to read?
Not that. If the lips don't match up to the fucking words,
that's what I was going to say.
I start getting anxiety. I'm like, fuck this shit.
I can relate to this.
Yeah,
It's like I've heard Narcos is fucking awesome.
I have watched Narcos.
And I won't watch it because of that. I'm not fucking reading a movie.
Well, there's a lot of reading, but there's not language mix up translations and
still
shit.
Not doing it.
It's actually I think I got like 2 seasons in, but I get sidetracked. I'm all over the fucking place. But I can't do but they get you sometimes when they fucking redo these movies in English.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes they're really on point, and you'll get like 10, 15 minutes into the movie and you'll be like, are their lips not like you don't even know. Then you're not even watching the movie. You're like,
you feel fucking cheated, right?
I swear her lips just skipped the fucking beat.
You
like
what
the fuck is going on? Then I'm like, this is where it gets me. I'll start pausing Netflix or Hulu, whatever. I'll start pausing like maybe it's just got to sync back up, like pause a buffer, like you used to do back in the day. Like it's just YouTube wasn't pause it, fucking I'm like, and then I go and I had enough of this, and I'll go and I'll see the info and I'll see that it was like filmed in like French or something.
Yeah.
fuck this shit. Turns out it could be an awesome movie, but once I'm done, once
So
I find out, I'm
I
done.
like all of the like the older Guy Ritchie shit, like Snatch, and I like Lock, Stock, and Smoking Barrels. I don't think that's him, but like I like all that shit, and I can get past the accents. The accent doesn't bother me. So I really, really got into Peaky Blinders. So Peaky Blinders reminds me of Sons of Anarchy, kind of without the mother involvement. Like it's a bunch of like, you know, kids in their 20s from like the gypsies and fucking they come from nothing to build themselves up into like this fucking Irish mafia-ish, English mafia kind of thing. But one of the ladies, she's like the main character, Helen McCrory. You actually probably know her husband. Did you ever see Band of Brothers?
Yes.
He's Lieutenant Dick Winters. He's also the lead in Billions, Damian Williams, I think his name is. Damian Lewis, the redheaded guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's his wife. Her name's Helen McCrory. She died, and it was weird. Like I didn't even realize that she died because she's only like 52. She's young, and she looked healthy as shit. But apparently, she had cancer for a while. And I was watching I was reading something on the internet, like you know how when you pop your computer on and like you go onto the internet and it'll pop up with like the slides. And I saw it on there, and they're like Peaky Blinders honors Helen McCrory, and I'm like, oh, what's this? Because I love the show. So I looked at it and I went, oh no! Like I was so sad, like it caught me off guard. I'm like, she died. That fucking sucks.
I mean, that definitely sucks when like somebody from something that you're like into dies.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know how they're gonna write her out.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
how you gonna fucking get rid of this? I mean, it was like Paul Walker dying in Fast and Furious. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, how do
Yeah,
you?
but they
how do
still
you
made
sell
what
that?
3 more?
well, that's because they all turned to superheroes after that.
Yeah, they totally got away from like the
Lupin.
original.
Did you see the trailer for the new one?
I haven't,
The
but
one-
like I know this. The original Fast and the Furious was
Street racing
it
cars,
was, but it was
and
like street
fucking
racing and like they're robbing tractor trailers. To now all of a sudden they're like
Saving the
international
world?
James. Yes, yes,
flying cars and fucking superpowers and shit. It's fucking insane.
yeah.
But we still watch them.
I don't. I
I
stopped.
do.
I
I
mean,
do.
I've caught up a little bit, but
Yeah, I do. But some of them like
The
this
one
is
I'm-
fucking stupid.
The
but I'll
one
still
I'm
watch
talking
it.
it,
it's
thinking about
gotten
is
so far like out of like it into the extreme. Like I know,
So
like
they're going back to the block, back to the house that blew up and shit. The
Yeah.
original house.
yeah,
Actually, I seen the trailer the other day. But the new one is like, so they tease you though. You think it's going back to like street racing? They're back in their what were they in LA? Is that where they were? Where they started?
Yeah.
So
Wasn't The Rock was in one too, right?
the Rock's in like all of them now.
not
Yeah.
he wasn't in the originals.
No, he wasn't in the
No,
original.
and
he
it's
was in,
interesting
like,
because him
7
and Vin
or
Diesel
something.
hate each other.
Well, it's funny. Like now they're going back to the block. You know what I mean? And they
He
tease
called
you.
Vin Diesel like the most unprofessional actor he's ever worked
Really?
with. Yeah.
Well, they tease you. They think the first minute of the trailer, they're at the house rebuilding the house. Or street cars are pulling back in the driveway and shit. And then next thing you know, fucking what's his name? Fucking
Paul Walker's still alive.
No, but Vin Diesel has this random brother now, and they're gonna go back to fucking saving the world on some fucking
Oh, stop
crazy
it.
shit.
Yeah.
The one show I was talking about where the lips are really off from the sound is called Lupin.
I tried to watch that.
It's awesome though, like the show, but like it's so like it was so frustrating like at first, and so like I started googling and I was like, why is Lupin so far off like on sound? Because they're moving their lips and nothing's coming out, and then all of a sudden it's like buh, 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 in this like in the surround sound, and you're like, what's going on? Like I literally reset everything I had because of that show. Because I was like, this is so far. And then I Googled it and they're like, yeah, it's originally filmed in French. And they translated it to English. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I hate that shit, especially when it gets you so good that you're like, fuck. Like I could have been like a whole season in before I caught one, and I'm like, fuck this shit, I'm done.
Yeah. It's probably not as bad like if you just watch it on a regular television with nothing else.
Here's another celebrity death. I'm gonna say a name and see if you guys can tell me who he is. And I'm not doing this to embarrass you guys, but I'm just curious. Do you guys know who Walter Mondale is?
Walter Mondale.
Nope.
No. Is he the guy from like Grumpy Old Men or whatever?
Interesting. Fire a guess who you think Walter Mondale is.
Absolutely no idea.
So this is fucking how wild this is. This guy was vice president of the United States.
Never heard of him.
Exactly. He was vice president for Jimmy Carter. He just died like last week or something, or maybe it was early this week. But like when I saw it, I'm like, I know the name. And I'm like, oh, he was vice president. Like I can't imagine, like if I said to you, who's Dan Quayle, you'd probably know he's a vice president.
Maybe.
maybe.
I don't even know all the presidents.
Huh?
I don't even know all the presidents.
I'm sure that like if I fired out names, you would know. Like you know who Al Gore is. You know who.
But you got to be a fucking real nerd to remember all the presidents.
You know who Warren G. Harding is?
President. Let's just stop.
He was a
I don't want to
president.
get into this. That wasn't the point. It was more the fact that there was a vice president still alive.
Wait, the only reason I know is because I went to that school and I was like, why is this school called this?
I know the name. I've heard the name before. I mean, I'm educated. I just don't care to fucking remember some shit.
I'm with you, though. Yeah.
But I just thought it was interesting because like, I'm like, I know who he is. But like, I'm wondering how many people know who the fuck Walter Mondale is. Like when you said grumpy old man, like I went to laugh.
What was the dude's name in Grumpy or Old Man?
Walter Matthau.
Okay.
You were close though. I could see where you went the other direction with it. I would have expected somebody to go, wasn't he the dude that was like on like one of those like daily news shows or whatever? Like he sounds like a fucking reporter, but just interesting. All right, I got some news stories real quick. I got to clear this stuff out because it's just been sitting on my phone forever. Some of these are old, so you might have heard them already. Some of them you may not have. Bowler, this is probably like the coolest way I think I've ever heard of anybody honoring their dad. An Illinois man found the perfect way to honor his father, who was an avid bowler, and he died several years ago. John Hinkle's father, John Sr., passed away in July of 2016. Since then, Hinkle has tried to find someone who would put some of his father's ashes in a bowling ball. On April 12th, he finally used his special ball, filled with his dad's ashes for the first time. So he had the ball, like whatever they're made of what's that shit called? Acrylic or whatever. And he had his dad's ashes put in the bowling ball, and he said, "I'm gonna go bowl with the. I have my dad with me when I'm bowling now."
Did he bowl 300?
I was talking to my brother and I told him I'm shooting a 300 with this ball, and Joe said, "Just do it." Sure enough, he did. Hinkle, who won 2 NCAA bowling championships at Western Illinois, has bowled plenty of perfect games, but none like this. He used both hands when he bowls, and because of that, he's not allowed to have 3-finger holes in his ball, so he decided to fill the thumb hole with his father's ashes. How fucking cool is that? The first time that he uses the ball he filled with his dad's ashes, he goes out there and bowls 300. Listen, I'm a pretty sentimental guy. I couldn't tell you in any way that I could honor my old man in the same manner. Like, that's fucking cool as shit, I think. It sounds kind of nerdy.
Something though.
How would you honor your dad?
I'd put him in this
a Miller Lite bottle and drink it. I'm gonna drink my dad.
I'd put his ashes in his High Life bottle since he fucking drives around with a case of High Life. I'm
gonna drink my dad.
I'd seal it up real nice, and every time I had a beer, I would pull out my special High Life and drink my beer with.
So you would have it made into the bottle.
Toast the bottle.
I would put him in the bottle. If my dad wants to be cremated,
he's drink the bottle.
He's not getting a what do they call it?
So those are their friends that may know that how I've decided I want to go.
He's getting a High Life fucking or I just put him in High Life, you know what I mean?
So my wife knows that when I die, I want to be turned into one of those sands of time, so that way I could be at game night. I want to be cremated, so they're gonna put me in one of those fucking jars. So you
guys fucking had this, like you and her were going back and forth on this on Facebook, right? I saw this shit.
It's an interesting thing. So
he said he wants like 6 of them.
I want 6 of them, so each one could go to each of my kids. I want to attend every game night. You know what I'm talking about? The hourglass thing.
Yeah.
So my first wife and I got into a huge fight about this because I said when I die, I wanted to be cremated because I spent so much time hanging out in cemeteries, and we've talked about it on the show, drinking and fucking and fornicating and doing whatever in cemeteries. I don't want to be buried in a cemetery and have that happen. Like, this cremate me, I'm good with that, and then do whatever you're going to do. And then I saw this thing on Facebook, and I went, that's fucking awesome. I still get to come to game night. I want that to happen.
See,
now.
I'm kind of like the opposite. Like April wants to be cremated. She's like, I die, you better fucking cremate me, like whatever. I'm opposite. I'm like, yo, throw me a fucking party. I don't want to be cremated. I want my funeral to be a party.
You can still do all that and be cremated afterwards.
but I like that. See, I like
so
you
this
have
is
somewhere like you have somewhere to go.
Wait. So you could still bury ashes in a cemetery.
But this is a bit of narcissism because you assume that there's going to be a ton of people that are like, I got to go visit that motherfucker on his birthday,
and there's probably nobody,
and
it's
just going to be you.
I mean, look, that's the argument that me and her have.
When you die, I'm going to have to come over and clean your tombstone. I'm going to scrub that bitch up, make it nice and clean, plant a little flowers,
some diamonds, clean off my diamonds.
No.
You know I'm a flashy guy.
She's not going to do all that. She's going to promise you all those things. But she's not investing any money into your death.
If it's carved,
that's bad business.
But like she's the type, like she's like same thing. Nobody comes to the fucking cemetery. Realistically, how often do you go see people that you know that you lost, that you cared about, that you love, that are in cemeteries?
I try and at least go twice a year.
Far and few between. You know,
I try and go twice a year.
And a lot of people don't go and see people that you think you would. You know what I mean? So I get that.
My son's buried in a cemetery that's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away, and I probably go once a year.
Yeah, and so I
just don't feel the need to.
I get it, but I also, I mean, I don't want the ashes on the entertainment center or
so I don't want that either. Like, don't leave them hanging out, because what my biggest
I want to be able to come see you when I'm drunk and fucking yell at you at your fucking tombstone.
Hold on, I got a question.
If I start yelling at you while your ashes are on the mantle, then I'm breaking my fucking 60 inch or something.
Let me ask you a question. So when you do, if you do go see someone at a cemetery, would you rather it be like an actual grave in the ground or one like in the wall?
Nah, the grave in the ground.
Yeah, grave in the ground. I'm not a mausoleum kind of guy.
Yeah,
like, it's not it's open. Like the one I'm talking about. Like my wife's dad is in, like it's in a wall.
Yeah, right. My grandmother.
And it's like
that.
Actually like.
So I think that's like based off of like religion though too. Like certain religions have certain things that they'll do.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like certain like mausoleums are like a Jewish thing. I think like you're getting put in the family mausoleum.
Right,
like that's only rich people.
My grandmother's.
That's not only rich people.
No, like my grandmother's it's like a wall. Like you go up and like her name's on like like it's a wall. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like we go and visit her mom. You know what I mean? And at least there's like you're there. You know what I mean? Put flowers on.
I always kind of feel like when I go, like it's also like kind of like a one with nature thing. Like there's nobody else there. I'm by myself.
I want a stripper pole next to my headstone.
The one
that fucking happened.
Like the one on the ground though, it's kind of it's funny. Like this kind of goes back to, I guess, maybe the DMX shit and stuff like that. Like where they were like tip one over for my homie, pour one out for my homie. Yeah. It's like if you actually go, like we've done it plenty of times, dude. We literally fucking went there. The first anniversary of his death, dude, we literally fucking just poured shit out. Like it was fucking.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning,
it was fucking flooded.
In the beginning, when you lose somebody, you know what I mean, like that, a close friend, relative, whatever.
Let's see. Now
you go, but over time, you forget about them.
No, you don't
forget about them. It becomes less and less. You like when we were in the neighborhood and we were still hanging out. It was easier to go do that thing. So we moved.
Like we used to go to Daly's, get fucking smashed, and leave and end up in the fucking cemetery up the street, dude. Like, just because.
Yeah. I always worry that, like, if I do get cremated and I don't come up with a plan with what happens with my ashes, like my wife, she'd keep them. Like, she's not going to fucking just throw them in the trash. And then when she dies, they'll go to one of the kids. Now, I don't know which kid will get them, but I know 3 that I don't want to have them. I'm not saying which 3. Wow. There's one that I'm like, who'll take care of them. The other 3, I'm not so sure.
Bill, you better do a good job, Bill.
So the kid that does get them, like he'd keep them, and then like when he dies, like it'll go to his kids, and like eventually it's going to hit a kid that goes, "The fuck is this guy, and why are we saving this?"
See, like a lot of people,
what the fuck? Throw you up in a joint.
Even when some college kid's dorm room, it's a decorative vase for his weed.
Here's what'll happen.
He's growing marijuana. I'm like,
no, here's exactly what'll happen. You'll get cremated, then Des will die. She'll get buried, and they'll fucking put your ashes in the container.
Desiree's getting cremated as well.
Well, someone will buy you a plot and put the ashes in it together.
But that's not at all what we want. We don't want to be put in a vault in a cemetery or anything. Like,
right.
I have to come up with an idea. I got to get my shit spread somewhere.
Like the bowling ball. Yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna put my dad in a fucking High Life can because that's all he drinks is High Life.
There's awesome stories though about some of the shit people.
But you know, maybe a good idea for you. Like, you know, there's all those people that make the fucking cups now and you can get whatever you want on them. Like, you get your dad cremated and you have him put into a cup that you can fucking drink your beer out of. That'd way he's always drinking with you.
That'd be weird.
Why?
It just would.
Look, she must have heard me talking about him.
That would just be weird, bro. It really would. Like, could you imagine having a mug that had like the glitter in it? And it's moving around like in a little liquid, and you're just chilling. Like,
that's my dad.
You're just chilling at your house one day, like in some random some person who doesn't come over your house all the time comes over, and you're like drinking, and he's like, "Oh man, why are you drinking a mug with glitter in it?" And you're like, "Oh, it's my dad."
I know how I want to be if I have to get cremated.
Yeah.
I know where I want to be.
Okay.
I want my ashes spread out. I want a custom mold of my junk.
Yeah.
And I want my wife to start a sex toy line. And I want a little piece of me in every sex toy.
I don't think anybody would pay to get fucked by something that small.
It's hung like a light switch, but I'm telling you, it gets the job done.
Yeah, but I mean, it gets the job done. But if you're paying for it, you're going for the bigger one.
We're making a fucking sex toy line. We're gonna make it a little bigger. Exaggeration.
Hey, we'll call it Little Mikey's.
I'm
you want to get a Little Mikey? I like it.
I'm
in on this.
I'm dead. You can't fucking look at it.
I got to get this. I've been holding on to this one for like. This literally came out on fucking March 30th.
How long
We've got like a couple more minutes, like 6 more minutes. Go pee. This is more
Such
for you.
A lightweight.
So this is a fantastic story. You a Food Network guy at all? A little bit,
maybe.
So I watch Food Network.
I'm sure you do.
You ever get caught in a YouTube hole?
Yes.
All right. So this dude, he has his own fucking Facebook or his own YouTube channel where he does cooking, but you never see the guy's face. You just kind of see him cooking, and he tells you all the stories, whatever.
He's like a hand model.
Not a hand model, but like he's teaching cooking from like his kitchen in the Caribbean. He lives in the Caribbean. He's got his own house there. Turns out this dude is a mafia fugitive who'd been on the run since 2014. He was arrested in the Dominican Republic thanks to his hobby as a YouTube chef. Mark Farron Club Biart, a 53-year-old suspected member of the Dragaheta Mafia organization, arrived in Milan, Italy on Monday following his arrest. So he's an Italian Dutch and was accused of drug trafficking for the Coca-Cola clan of the, I don't know, between Italy and the Netherlands. So what he was doing was they find that, like, you know, he knows he's going to get arrested. So he gets out of town, right? He fucking evacuates and he heads down to the Caribbean, but like, he's living a fucking perfect life down there. Everything is good. Why the fuck would you start a YouTube channel? They found him because of his tattoos.
Yeah.
So they were able to identify the guy and they arrested him. But it's like, dude, if you're on the lam, like, what kind of fucking idiot are you that you're going to start your own cooking show?
Yeah.
That's so stupid, right?
I mean, he should have been a little more creative and covered up his tattoos or something, but it's tough. Like, I had this conversation when
how about this?
Listen.
You're living in the Caribbean and you're on the fucking land. How about don't do a cooking show?
Well, maybe he's very passionate about cooking. I don't know what to tell you.
He should have not been passionate about selling drugs, and we would have been able to fucking do his cooking show.
Like, I just had this conversation recently. I tried to convince my wife to let me start an OnlyFans, right?
For you?
Yes.
Nobody's paying for that.
Listen. I start seeing these numbers that these OnlyFans people are making.
Yeah.
They're making like hundreds of $1,000s a week.
I know.
Like the average person, right? So, I mean,
how bad do you think that's eating into like strip clubs?
Strip clubs are done.
You think?
Yeah, even porn stars are getting away from like
porn contracts, and
they're going to OnlyFans. They're making more money off of OnlyFans than they would with like a contract with a major. You know what I mean? But anyway, so I mean, my wife's a very content. We're total opposites. You know what I mean? So I'm like, babe, like, I'll fuck you on camera. I don't even care if the bag's right. Like, you know what I mean? Right. She's like, yeah, absolutely not. I'm like, well, then let me just like find a girlfriend just to fuck. It's business. It's a business transaction.
Right.
You know what I mean? We'll live a great life.
She said no.
She said no. So I was like, how can I sneak and do this? Like, I'm trying to get paid. They're all getting paid. And I can't because I'm fucking covered in tattoos. So there's no. Did you
imagine Mikey with a leather mask on and it was like, I know those fucking stars.
I would have to wear a full body fucking suit with just like the dick hole.
Nobody's paying for that. Nobody's paying for fucking Mikey in a green fucking lycra suit with his fucking little Mikey hanging out.
But see, at that point, then you don't know. You know what it is?
She's been around and she would know. She's like, oh my God, that's little Mikey. Yeah, I know little Mikey.
Yeah, she would know. She would know. But I'm saying, like, you can't even be sneaky when you're covered in tattoos. That's the only regret I have about tattoos is I can't start an OnlyFans and make $100,000 a year.
I think we got like, how much time we got left, Kiki? Like 5 minutes? 2 minutes?
We started late.
Real quick. Louisiana woman was arrested after refusing to return $1.2 million that was mistakenly put in her account. So the bank fucked
Everyone
up.
dreams of this.
Yeah.
So this lady did it right. She's going to jail for it, but the best part is, like, soon as it hit her bank account, like, they realized that shit right away, and we're like, no, we're gonna pull that back. She was like, fuck that. She started transferring it over to her other accounts and was like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. And they fucking issued a warrant for there. Like, you can't keep it. Like, apparently there's some shit in the bank policy that says if, like, they accidentally send you money, you have to give it back. like there is no bank error in your favor, which is bullshit. So yeah, she was 33. She was taken into custody for charges of theft valued at over $25,000 and bank fraud and illegal transmission of monetary funds.
How much time she gonna have to do?
So they wound up recovering most of it.
But she spent like $400,000.
This is the best part. Authorities said a clerical error had caused Charles Schwab, a major financial services corporation, to deposit more than $1.2 million into her brokerage account when it meant to transfer about $82 in February. Like, who's the fucking guy who just went, dude, I just kept hitting fucking
It almost
zeros.
reminds of the old lady in the movie Sing, where her eyeball falls out and hits the keyboard.
Truly can tell that he's a parent because
Yes.
we're talking about stealing money from
and
fucking
he's
Charles
talking about a
Schwab.
fucking cartoon
He's like, did you ever
movie.
see a cartoon called Sing?
That's the one with the dancing.
You're
That's the one with the dancing
Her
pig.
fucking eye falls out though.
Ain't it a pig? The main character? Yeah.
Pig, elephant, giraffe. You know.
I'm gonna do this real quick. This is the last one, then we'll check out of here. Apparently, Usher did not use Ush Bucks to pay dancers. Did you hear about this?
I did. I thought that was actually, well, what's the story? Because I know what I heard.
It says that he did not use Ush Bucks to pay dancer, club says, amid social media allegations the singer was using fake money. So apparently there's allegations that Usher was going to the strip club with $100 bills that had his face on it
And
was
using
Ush
the fake.
Bucks.
Yeah.
And he would fucking drop. Listen, I want to get counterfeit ones because nobody's going to question that.
Right.
I just
You
go to the
fives or
stripper.
tens, you're good.
But if you go to the strip club with like fucking $300 in fake ones and you're making it rain out there, nobody's checking ones. Nobody's out there with the pen, like fucking checking them all.
They make movie money.
I saw that major motion picture.
They make
just fucking
movie
dropping
money.
this
This
in
shit
there.
looks right. I think all these local rappers look like they're balling.
But you can only do it once because once that bitch goes backstage and she starts counting shit, fuck is this?
So what I heard,
what the fuck is a Hanratty buck?
Well, that's right to it. But yeah, I heard the story. Like he was paying strippers, making it rain, whatever. But then as things came out, I actually found out he has a residency in one of the local establishments, whatever. And it's actually promotional material.
Oh, I like it.
How big is an actual like $100 bill?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Is it 6 inches by 2.52 inches?
Fuck what I know.
I don't know.
Got a tape measure? I got a $100 bill. So I can help you with, buddy.
All right, let's wrap up.
Yeah, supposedly he has like a residency, and the money, the fake money, it's like a flyer almost.
Oh, it's like promotional.
Yeah, and it was in Vegas, right? Vegas. It was in Vegas, and like that's where his residency was. It was a promotional material.
We need to get some SaRcast dollars and take him to the strip club.
I'm about to buy just some of this fake fucking money.
All right, do your thing.
You just incriminated yourself.
Yeah. All right, so that's the end of our show for this week. Be sure to check us out. Thanks for Mike Hanratty for coming in, hanging out with us tonight. I'm sure we'll get you back.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Kiki, for doing your thing behind the glass. Make sure you stay tuned. Stay on the CB Live page because Santa Boot First coming up behind us. They're going to talk some sports and some cool shit. And
they're going to play rock, paper, scissors, I heard.
They might play rock, paper, scissors.
Maybe I'll hang around and fucking bomb their show.
Yeah. Be sure to download the show. It helps us with the numbers. Go to wherever you download podcasts. Look for the SaRcast. Download that. And we'll see you guys next Thursday, 6:00.
Later.
Chill.
And here we